Nityanandam, with all auspicious blessings and grace of my Guru, Paramahamsa Sri Nityananda Swamiji, I welcome you all to this video once again. Today, I wanted to share a little about the Sangha, the Nityananda Sangha, the space of completion that we all have to live in, and what Swamiji is trying to create through the Nityananda Sangha is nothing but an entire new dimension of civilization, a new civilization of enlightened beings. Enlightenment is not just something that we get and then we forget about it. It is something we practice. We have to radiate it and inspire people around us to live the same space of completion, which will lead us to living the light of an enlightened consciousness. Recently, Swamiji has blessed the Gurukul kids to do the Akashic readings, which is reading the cosmic archives, which contains the past, the present, and the future of each and every human being, which can be only accessed through a very high mystical space, a mystical plane, and which can only be read through people who are in the complete space of a completion with Swamiji, the cosmos, and Kalbhairava himself. I will leave a brief description of what Akashic reading is all about in the box below. I think it would be very interesting for a lot of us to know what Akashic reading is about and how it can help us to be more integrated and centered about our lives, the purpose of our life, and where we want to go with this life we are having at the moment. I think that was one of the best things, one of the best gifts Swamiji has given to human beings is the Akashic readings, where you are guided by the children who live in the space of completion by radiating Kalabhairava and accessing the cosmic archives, which is accessible to them because of the pure space of integrity they live in, they exist in. And they do the readings from the space of no fear, no greed. When you experience that, you will understand what I'm saying when I mean it's one of the best gifts Swamiji has given to humanity. So, in this process, our whole Sangha is being forced to move to a space of completion by Kalabhairava himself. Most of the sannyasis, the brahmacharis or devotees or adinavasis, when they have some issues, they go for Akashic reading and they're guided by Kalabhairava to go to the space of completion, to go to completion, and they even explain whom they're supposed to meet to become more and more integrated to the purpose of life and to Swamiji. And quite a few of them have come my way, and what experiences I've had with them, I just wanted to share with my viewers so they can understand how powerful, how liberating the science of completion can be for us. One of the most different things I found living in Ayadinam, in my pre-monastic life and my monastic life is, in my pre-monastic life, I could choose whom I wanted to spend my time with, whom I didn't like, whom I wanted to avoid, and whom I never will see in my life ever again. But in the Adinam, it's not like that. Whether you like or not like, you have to live with them, and you are forced to address what space of incompletion inside of you is making you not like the other person, or making the other person angry with you, or what about the other person is irritating you, annoying you. I'm forced to look into it because I want to live in the Adinam. So over a period of time, the forced space of completion makes us look inside ourselves, because one day you realize you can't go on blaming the world. And in this process, the most beautiful thing I realized is, if you're in the space of completion and you express and experience the space of completion, the one thing you want to do is always make the other person happy, smile, and you'll always address each and every issue from the other person's perspective, not always from your perspective, which forces you also to a space of completion, and the other person also starts becoming more and more complete with you. And this is what I find the huge gap which we have in the society outside. I can, if any small anger, any small incompletion, I can choose not to talk to my brother for years. I can choose not to see my father for years. I can just ignore friends who stood by me. Maybe by a small word they might have said. I've seen this in my life, in my pre-monastic life, where I have known parents don't talk to each other, siblings don't talk to each other for years, have never seen each other for years, and I always wondered how it is possible to be in a family and not talk to each other, especially father and siblings. But I have seen that and never understood how it could be addressed either. I have known families in my pre-monastic life where the siblings don't talk to each other for years, or where within a family, the family dynamics is so filled with animosity that one sibling tries to grab the property of other siblings, or they're always trying to compete each other, not in a positive way but in a negative way, which is always bringing each other down. And I, from my perspective, could never understand how one sibling would do something bad for another sibling being from the same family. That is one perspective of mine in relation to families. But in my own life, if I felt someone has insulted me or abused me, I would forget all the good things they have contributed to my life. And I would never speak to that person because I would feel humiliated and I would think this person is never going to change, or I was backstabbed. I had my own assumptions and presumptions, never giving that person an opportunity to realize that what he did was not right and we just need to complete and move forward. Once I decided that this person is not good, he's not good. He's not good or she's not good because he backbites or he's not loyal. But then I realized it is not always the person who is responsible for the action. For many people, it's the circumstances. It could be the way they're brought up, or seeing the people around them, or just the social circumstances they are in. For example, something as simple as gossip. Why is it such a rage in the society to have gossip sessions, like kitty parties? I've always been thinking, why would someone sit and gossip about someone we don't know about? For example, it could be a cricket player, or it could be an actress, an actor, or even a politician. I have seen people spend endless hours in discussing about, oh, this fellow should have played the ball like this, or he had the bat like this, or he went away with that, or she did this, she did that. I never realized the harm the gossip would do to a person, but I just felt it was a waste of time. I never understood from the perspective of a spiritual understanding that gossip can actually cause harm to us and to people around us, because once you start talking, gossiping about people you do not know anything about, especially passing judgments, gossip is nothing but passing judgments. You will start judging yourself in the same way, because you will perceive the world is judging you in that same way, and somewhere along over a period of years, your self-confidence, your trust in yourself, your trust in the good part of you starts receding, because you have really filled it with the negative gossip. Even something as simple as gossip has caused us so much harm, and we have never realized that. But when I came into the Sangha, I realized that even something as simple as gossip can cause so much of damage to another person. Not only to another person, even to my own being. Step 1, as I said earlier, is to call the person about whom you gossiped and complete with them saying, listen, I have to make this statement about you, but now I realize it's such an immature and a childish thing to have done. I want to complete with you and assure you I'll never do it again. And step 2, call the person to whom you gossiped about and tell them, listen, I told you about this person such and such a statement which is not true, and I want to complete with this immature behavior of mine and make sure I don't repeat it. Try this for just 5 people in your life, and you will see how your relationships will become richer and your inner space will experience such a freedom from such trivial nonsense that we fill our head with. I'll tell you why it is so trivial, because Swamiji taught us to micromanage our thoughts. And when he started micromanaging my thoughts, I realized one thing was, when I start gossiping about someone, the next time I meet them, I myself withdraw a little. Or if I'm being outspoken and friendly with them, I can actually see the superficiality in the way I converse with them. So it is not their responsibility, but over a period of time, this relationship starts distancing itself and we lose each other. And I also forget the wonderful things they have done for me. And just because of my nature of gossip, I have lost a beautiful person in my life. When I realized I was being so destructive with my relationships, I started competing with it. And today, all my relationships, I know from the space where I deal is only to see how I can keep them as part of my life and not to move them out of my life. When that happens, you will see the liberation that you will experience and the power it gives you, because now you'll understand that every relationship in your life, every success, not only in relationships, even anything you take up is from you. The source and the decision maker is you and not an outside person. When you understand that, your life will be completely filled with joy and freedom. I do hope you try this technique, and if you have any questions or any experience you want to share, please leave your comments below and I will read it and reply to it. Thank you so much for listening to me and hope to see you soon again. Nityanandam.